You may not know this about me, but I am hyper obsessed with time. Spending my time wisely is one of the most important things about my life. I'm as busy as any of you watching this. Uh, Husband and father, full-time career, just trying to be there for everybody, for my family, and for my, like I said, for my career. And when I do have time off, it's very precious to me. I want to spend a significant portion of that time with my family. And then I even have a little bit of that time carved out for myself. Not just on the weekends, but also on weeknights. And so I spend some of those time on the weeknights building and painting and getting ready for that all-important weekend game. And the preparation part is super important to me. Not just how I spend that preparation part, but what I choose to enjoy. What I'm talking about is if I have 3 to 4 weeknights a week to get ready for a weekend game, I would personally rather spend that time building and painting those models that I really enjoyed to get them ready to put on the table. What I would prefer not to spend that time on is homework. Honestly, it's usually not until the night before I go play my weekend game where I actually just dive into rules and try to figure out what am I going to do with this list, or how am I going to put together this crew, or what else does my army need, or how do these missions work, or how do my strats and schemes work. It's usually at the very, very end of the process for me. And I know that that's not true for a lot of you. A lot of you really prefer that part. So you may spend your weeknights pouring into rules and studying model interactions and tweaking lists, and that's great for you. But it just isn't that for me. Not anymore, anyway. Like I said, I still spend a little bit of time doing that because I like to play so many different systems. And occasionally, I will pick, we'll say, one of these deeper systems to jump in and really sink my teeth into and play for a while. But a lot of times I want some of that other system or that other experience, right? I want to have that enjoyment of putting down my army that I spent a lot of time taking care of and trying to make as cool as I could. To put that on the board, push it around, roll some dice, and really just jump into the thick of a game. And that's where a game like Age of Sigmar Spearhead comes in for me. You see, to me, Spearhead is like the distillation of all of the parts of the battle war game that I really enjoy. I get the experience of building and painting a great looking army without having to plow through 2,000 points of said army. I also don't have to research my purchases. I can just go look at a box, and if it looks cool and says the word Spearhead on it, I can just buy that box. There you go. Decision made. Homework done. And when I take it home, I can go straight to the painting. So I build and paint and enjoy, and then the weekend comes, and my army is ready. Well, most of the time. If it's not ready, I wait another week. No big deal. But on the weekend, we set up the game. The game is played on a small table, and it only has a few pieces of furniture to go with it. So setting up a game takes all of 30 seconds. I put my models down, my opponent puts their models down. There's no hemming and hawing about last second choices or changes to our army list. It is what it is, right? And it's very, very quickly after those models go down, we start to push them around and we are in the thick of battle. And what's so interesting about this is while we're playing on such a small map, there is all kinds of movement happening across the board. It's not just a simple head-on collision like you might imagine it would be on such a tiny little board. No, we have areas to conquer. We have units that we need to remove. We have parts of the board that we need to establish for ourselves. This game has a surprising amount of moving and maneuvering to it. There's a few minor strategic considerations that you make, such as your enhancements and upgrades, but you make that right before the game. Again, no list building, no list tweaking. A couple of mods that you can do to your army in consideration of your opponent or the map, and there you go. And before you know it, you are in the thick of battle. And it really feels like you are playing that war game. And you've skipped all those other parts where people are explaining to each other ad nauseum what their interactions do and why they took this on their list and how much it's going to be so amazing. And their pieces aren't gray because they actually had time to paint them. And so they're not just pointing at pieces of gray and explaining how they took it because it's the perfect counter to your piece. This game cuts right to business, and you are in there battling it out, using your powers, yelling at your dice, because my powers never work, no matter how many bonuses I give to my wizard. But you're battling it out. And then you have these twists, the things that change the field of battle, each battle round. And you have your battle cards, which include the strategies that you're trying to achieve each turn, and they're also usable like a resource, which is, hey, if you played the Batman miniatures game, it works just like that. That's a cool feature. I really enjoy that, and these cards can really change the outcome of a battle. A well-timed strike first card has ended a game for me in one case, and I was on the receiving end of it. Did it feel bad? Yeah, a little bit, but it was exciting, and that's the point. This game isn't a game that you have to win to enjoy. You are in the battle, and your opponent is right there with you, kind of witnessing all of these fun things happen in the game. And win or lose, it's exciting from the word go. There is no strange setup and unpack and in the first round. You got to get in there and fight and score and win. And that is why I really love Spearhead. Yeah, it's not the deepest game in the world, but it is definitely entertaining. It's easy to follow. It's accessible for outsiders. They can follow along and see how things are going. This is a game I can teach my kids. And you want to know one of the best parts about this game is that it's over in about an hour and a half. That means that weekend time that you have, you can spend playing multiple games of Spearhead, or you can play Spearhead and you can play one of those deeper games that you want. You can satisfy a lot of your different appetites for gaming and still include Spearhead as part of that mix. And no, it's not a competitive game. And you want to know something? For me, it's one of the biggest points of appeal for that game. No, I'm not trying to knock competitive gaming. There are certain systems that I clearly identify for myself and say, okay, that game right there, that's got some tooth to it, and I want to play that competitively. But Spearhead, I want to play that thematically. I want to see battles unfold. I want to play my dudes, and I've lost every single game of Spearhead I've played thus far, and I just want to see the day where maybe, just maybe, I can roll higher than a 3 on 2 dice and maybe win one of these games. But I am absolutely having a blast. I think Spearhead is one of the best designed, best assembled experiences Games Workshop has ever put together, and I really think people are missing out. Not everything needs to be disarming a bomb or doing a PhD dissertation just to try to win a miniatures game. You can put great looking pieces on a board, push them around, smash them into each other, and declare a victor. It's that simple. It's that fun. It's what we all enjoyed about miniature gaming in the first place, so please don't lose sight of that. Anyways, I love this game. I think people should play it. I definitely want to play it more, and I'm trying to figure out how I can get some more content about it onto this channel. So anyways, thanks everyone for watching. Stay tuned for more, and we'll catch you on the next one.